You are here looking for some new recipes, so let's jump straight into it. Hey y'all, I'm Mandy, and this is Mandy in the Making. Tonight we're going to be making a cheesy potato and corn chowder, and then I'm going to make Grandmom's cornbread. I've always got that linked below in the description box. I'm not going to show how to make the cornbread today in this video, but if you're interested, it's linked below. To get started, I just need to thinly slice these celery stalks. I've got 4.5 potatoes here. Ma'am, I need to chop these up or cube these. I say 4.5 because this one is teeny tiny. You just need about 4 russet potatoes peeled and chopped. And then I've got this small onion that I'm also going to chop. Okay, now that we have everything chopped, I've got about 1/2 pound of bacon here that I've chopped into about 1/2 inch pieces. I'm going to heat my large soup pot to about medium heat and let that come up to temperature a little bit, and then we're going to go ahead and cook all of this bacon. Okay, our bacon is done. So now I'm just going to remove it over here to this paper towel lined plate. We're gonna leave the drippings behind because we're going to cook our veggies in that. So let's grab our onion and our celery and throw that here into the pot. I've also got about 1.5 teaspoons of dried thyme and about 1 teaspoon of dried parsley. Let's add that in. It's gonna add a lot of flavor. A couple of teaspoons of minced garlic is going in. And we're also gonna put in some salt and pepper. Let's just saute these for a good 3 or 4 minutes. Just get the onions and the celery really soft. It already smells divine because it's cooked in that bacon grease and then it's got all those seasonings in there. Yes, please. So now what we're gonna do is add a little bit of flour. This is gonna help thicken the chowder. Let's add about about 1/3 cup, I guess. This is a 1/2 cup measure, so let's do about 1/3 cup of flour and just kind of stir that around. That should be good. You know, and throw the flour everywhere because that's how you really cook right there. Are you really cooking if you don't just throw flour and salt and all the things all around the kitchen? Let's just cook this for like a minute just to get that kind of flour taste gone, and then we're gonna add in our chicken broth. We're gonna use this entire container of chicken broth. You need 4 cups, and we are just going to kind of slowly start pouring that in. I'm gonna stop and stir, and then I'll pour some more. Okay, this has started to heat through pretty well. Now we're gonna add in our potatoes. I have these cut into bite-sized pieces. And we're gonna cook this over medium to medium high for a good 15 minutes or so. We just want our potatoes to get really tender. So I'll just come over here and just check on it occasionally, but we'll give it its time to do its thing, and I'm gonna get the cornbread in the oven. This has been simmering for about 15 minutes, so now let's add in some more stuff. I've got about 1 cup of corn. This is just frozen corn. It's been sitting out at room temperature for a while now, but it will bring the temperature down a little bit. And we're gonna add in 2 cups of milk. I'm gonna stir this, and we're gonna let this simmer for another 10 minutes, and then we'll add in some cheese before it's time to eat. Just because I want it to be a little bit creamier, I'm gonna add in a heaping tablespoon of some sour cream too, and we're just going to stir that in and combine it just because. It has been about 10 minutes. We have this beautifulness going on over here. I've got about 1 cup of cheese. You can use cheddar cheese if you want to, but I really love Colby Jack, so that's what we're using today. I already gave Gracie Lou some of hers. Ma'am. She's really hoping I forgot I gave her some already. Let's just add this in. And We'll wait on it to melt. I'll stir it around really good. And then it's gonna be time to eat because our cornbread will be coming out in just a second. So it's time for deliciousness.
Sweetheart, I am really excited about this.
It smells so good.
Look at that. Wow.
We're gonna put a little extra cheese on top, a little pepper jack.
Oh yeah, look at that.
And how about some bacon?
Wow. You know the way to my heart.
And you can't forget.
Oh my goodness.
Let's eat.
Lots of aromatic flavors in there.
Mm-hmm.
The thyme, definitely get the thyme that's coming through there. And then the creaminess of the stew with the potatoes. And it's all nice and warm. And then just a little something interesting with the corn there.
Yeah.
Like sweet and crunchy.
Did you get you some bacon in there too?
That is really good.
Good.
I love the bacon. I could use more bacon actually.
Oh yeah. Well, there's plenty more in there. Yeah.
Of course, the cornbread with this. Let's go a little Tabasco in there.
Yeah, I know you like your hot sauce.
Kick it up a little notch. Oh wow. Yeah.
That's what it needed.
That's what you want right there. You could do crackers with this too.
Yeah, absolutely. Ma'am. Gracie. You just get louder and louder. This cat loves some cornbread, y'all. Okay, here. Here. Was he good? I love you. Y'all, it is so creamy. Man, this is delicious. I think I'm gonna throw a little bit of hot sauce in mine too, just because, but this is so good. Y'all have gotta try it. Each week I choose a recipe from one of you. You send it in, we take a look at them and find one that we think sounds interesting, sounds good, and we give it a try. This recipe comes from Mary. Mary lives in Alabama, and I know that because she signs her emails Roll Tide. Being a Clemson fan, it hurts my heart just tiny little bit, Mary. I'm just teasing. Anyway, she lives in Alabama with her husband of 34 years. They have a fur baby named Bo. And she said this particular recipe comes from her husband's grandmother, and it's been made in his family for generations. I think the original name she said was called sloppy hot dogs. They call them barbecue dogs. We're just gonna shorten it and just call it sloppy dogs. And sounds like a really great lunch, which is what we're having it for today. Let's get started. I'm going to go ahead and start heating this pot here to just low heat, medium low heat. It doesn't have to be hot or too hot. And then we are going to preheat our oven to 350. I am cutting this recipe in half, so I'm not gonna use this entire onion, just about half of it. While this is coming up to temperature, I'm gonna put half a stick of butter in here and let that completely melt. Now that our butter has completely melted, we're gonna add in our half an onion and just cook this for a few minutes just to soften it. And meanwhile, I've got 1 pound of hot dogs. I'm going to just line them here in this casserole dish because what we're doing over there on the stove is going to go on top of these hot dogs and they'll all go in the oven together. So again, this is half of the recipe. You would use 2 pounds if you were doing the full recipe. I do love that you can serve these on hot dog buns, or if you want to go low carb, you could definitely just get all the sloppy mess onto your plate and have a little feast even without the buns. Our onions have softened up. Now let's start adding in all the rest of the ingredients. I've got about 3/4 a cup of ketchup here. We also need about a half a tablespoon of yellow mustard. We're gonna do, this is a 1/4 cup measure. We only need about half of a 1/4 cup, so 1/8. We need some chili powder. We're gonna do half a tablespoon. And then lastly, in this tiny little measuring cup, I've got about 2 tablespoons of white vinegar. So the recipe called for a 1/4 cup, and I had to figure out, what was half of that. And I recently created a little printable that I'm gonna share with you in just a second about conversions and figuring out all of that. But half of a 1/4 cup is about 2 tablespoons. Okay, let's mix all of this together. Just heat it through really well. I feel like if you really wanted to beef this up a little bit more, you could probably do like a half a pound of, well, in my case, a half a pound, maybe a pound if you were doing the full, or maybe a quarter of a pound and a half a pound of ground beef. So that way it will make it even more like a chili topping. But I'm just going with her original recipe today. So let's let that heat through and let me show you about the free printable. So I recently created this, and it's got all kinds of conversions and substitutions and all of the meat temperatures and all of that on here for you. And this is free for you to download and print. I'm gonna have it in the description box below. It's just very helpful. So today, when I was looking at this, I said, okay, it calls for 1/4 a cup. Obviously, I don't need 1/4 a cup, but that's 4 tablespoons, so I knew that it was only 2 tablespoons that I needed for today. But this is a very helpful thing to have on your refrigerator, because if you are in a pinch and you're needing to substitute some things, or if you're just really needing to figure out cook times for things, like this has got all of your like rice, your different grains, and how much liquid to the grain ratio is in it, then how long to cook it, even for the Instant Pot. You've got slow cooker and Instant Pot conversions here. It shows you if you do it for this long in the slow cooker, this is how long you would do it in the Instant Pot. It's very, very helpful. Okay, this has heated through, because while I was over there showing you all that, I heard it starting to bubble. So let's turn off the heat. Our oven is ready as well. Let's go pour this over our hot dogs. Okay, y'all, this is going in the oven at 350 for about 25 minutes. Oh, also just an update. If you follow me on Instagram, I was showing that I had cleaned out the bottom of my oven prior to Thanksgiving coming up. It wasn't too bad, but I got it super clean. And someone suggested that I get an oven liner to try out. I've been using it for a couple of weeks now, and I love it. It's so great, and it's very easy to clean and wipe off, so you can just take it right out and wipe it right off and stick it back in. It's so nice. While that is in the oven, I am going to make some coleslaw for the side, or we could put it on top of our hot dogs as well. I have shared how I make my coleslaw before. I will link that below, but I just kind of do it however, you know, whatever ingredients I've got on hand. I change it up almost every single time, y'all. I'm gonna be real honest. I do throw just a little bit of white vinegar in with it. Not a lot, maybe a tablespoon. I'm gonna add in just a couple of tablespoons of, I almost said mustard. This is mayonnaise, Duke's mayonnaise. And I totally forgot to show y'all, but I added some salt and pepper as well as a little bit of garlic powder. And I'm just going to stir all of this around. I always just eyeball it. You can always add more mayonnaise, whatever, later. Let me see if I have some relish as well. I don't think I do. I like to put relish into mine, sweet relish. I had no sweet relish, but we're gonna add in some of this jalapeno relish. Not a lot, because it is spicy. Oh, it smells so good. But y'all know we like spicy around here, so I'm gonna do like 1 tablespoon maybe of that. And just combine that all together. We're gonna have some spicy coleslaw today. I don't think anybody in this house will complain. Okay, let me taste this and see what I think. Oh, good. That is perfection. It needs nothing else. So I'm gonna pop the lid on it, stick it in the fridge until we are ready to eat.
It's a sloppy dog.
Sloppy dog.
It looks sloppy.
Yeah, it is sloppy. Be careful.
Sloppy, it's gonna be good. Wow. I don't know what to make of this sauce. It's like very interesting. It's like sweet.
Uh-huh.
And then it's got like it's like sweet and salty.
Yeah.
You know? And And then it's kind of like, I don't know how to describe it, but it doesn't taste like ketchup, but you know, but it kind of resembles ketchup.
Well, it has ketchup in it.
Okay. So you've got it's like onions in there. So the flavor is really rich flavor.
It's got a half a stick of butter in there too.
Oh, wow. Yeah, this is really good. It definitely enhances the flavor of the hot dog itself.
Okay.
This is a great like chili alternative.
Okay, that's what I was saying.
Sure.
Yeah. Like you could even
really
add ground beef to this and meat, you know, make it more like a chili if you wanted to, but.
Oh yeah, those flavors are good.
Okay. Well, I'm glad you like it.
I recommend this. Very different. I've never had anything like this.
Okay, well, I'm gonna dig in. He's got me intrigued, so I'm gonna dig in. I'll be right back. You cannot have it, ma'am. You're being very rude, ma'am. Get down. Get down. Bye bye. Yeah. Y'all, this is so good. Stephen was saying this tastes like a very enhanced ketchup on here, and it does. It doesn't taste like ketchup. It tastes like ketchup 2.0.
Yeah.
It's really good. It's got a great flavor to it. That butter makes it very smooth. So it's not chunky, it's very, very smooth. And then it pairs well with our slaw. You could always throw your slaw on top of your dog if you wanted to as well, but.
You know what that sauce would be good on? Or good with?
What?
Smokies.
Oh, it would be.
I really think it would.
Oh yeah, you could do that, like put it in a crock pot with little smokies.
I think you could.
Oh yeah, that would be good.
Maybe a dipping sauce.
Man, it's really good. What have you been asking me for dinner for weeks?
Quesadillas.
Quesadillas. Tonight we are having quesadillas. This is not quite like any other quesadillas we've ever made before. So I found this recipe in a magazine that I got. I tore it out of the magazine. I don't like to keep the whole magazine and recycle the other part, but just take out what I wanted. It came from All Recipes, so it will be online as well. I'll have it all linked below. But y'all, do you see that? I just couldn't help myself.
That was amazing.
It's called Andouille and Poblano quesadillas, but we're not using andouille. We're just using what we had, but it still smells so good. I don't know if you can hear, it's already cooking, but let's go back in time. I'll show you how we prepped it and got it over there, and we're about to eat. I love all of the fresh ingredients that goes into this recipe, so I'm gonna start chopping all of this down. Okay, I've got about a half a cup of diced red bell pepper. We need about a cup of diced poblano peppers. It should be both of these, but we may not need all of it. This is optional, but I am going to also add a jalapeno pepper in here just because we like the heat from a jalapeno. I'm going to remove most of the seeds, but a few are going to stay behind. That's where the heat comes in. And we need about 3/4 of a cup of diced red onion as well. Got all of our veggies chopped. Now we just need to chop up our chicken sausage. So the recipe calls for andouille chicken sausage. This is the chicken sausage that I had in my freezer. It is the roasted garlic chicken sausage. We're just gonna go with it. It does say to just dice it up, so that's what I'm gonna do. So what I'm doing right now is just buttering one side of our flour tortillas. Gracie Lou, ma'am, that is very rude. Anyway, I don't think the instructions say to do this, but we always do this when we make quesadillas because it just makes it super crispy. You get that good golden brown on the one side. It's perfect. Okay, so I've got my large skillet heating to about medium heat. We're gonna add in about a tablespoon of olive oil, and we are gonna saute our chicken sausage along with all of our veggies. This is about a half a cup of frozen corn. To add a little bit of flavoring, I'm gonna add in some of my homemade taco seasoning, and we're just gonna let these saute for a good 5 to 10 minutes. I want them to get really soft, and then we will make our quesadillas. So this has been cooking for, I don't know, 7 or 8 minutes maybe. We're just gonna remove all of this to a plate over here. We're gonna use this same skillet to make our quesadillas in. So we're gonna kind of wipe it out a little bit. It's one thing I love about these Caraway pans is how easily they wipe clean. Okay, so he's gonna put in our tortilla butter side down. And then he's gonna take some filling and put it on one half of it. And then we'll top it with some cheese and fold it in half. I've got about a cup and a half of Colby Jack cheese. You can use whatever cheese you want. There we go. And now the fun part. Good job. All right, we're gonna let it get kind of crispy on one side and then we'll flip it. Oh man. That looks so good. Got you a plate right here. Excellent. All right, let's do 3 more. You want some cheese? Okay. I have just a little bit left. Yeah. I know. It's very exciting. Very exciting. Gracie. 3 down. Last one in.
Is a rotten egg. Ooh.
We're about to eat. I'm hungry. Oh my goodness, my mouth is watering. That filling, I mean, he packed them pretty full, but it made 4 quesadillas, so that was good. You ready?
Yep. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Slide this. Oh, look at them bad boys. Oh!
Look at that perfection, y'all. I mean, really. Yeah, let's eat. Look, he's got an empty plate.
We about to fix that.
I'm telling you what. Oh, we've got salsa here for you.
We're gonna load her up.
Yeah, and sour cream. I don't have any cilantro. Sorry about that.
Well, I guess we'll just have to pack it up.
You done? You moving out?
Let's put some sour cream on there, maybe a little salsa. On this here Wednesday.
Did you say salsa?
Salsa. On this here Wednesday. That's W-I-N-S-D-A-Y. Wednesday. That's how we say it down here in the South.
Is it?
That's right. We don't make no sense.
No, we don't.
All right, here we go. Yes. Wow. Got a little peppery heat there.
Yeah.
But it's not like overwhelming heat.
Okay, good.
A little spice, but the flavors. Wow, you don't get that with your usual like chicken fajita,
right?
Chicken quesadilla.
Right.
Yeah, this is like not your typical.
So is this quesadillas 2.0?
Yeah, this is like version 2.0.
Okay.
Sausage is really good. The flavors, the taco seasoning there works perfectly.
Yeah, yeah.
That just comes together really well.
Okay.
The cheese kind of binds everything
together.
together.
Oh yeah.
Little gooiness there. Ooh, that's good.
All right, well, I'm gonna dig in. I am very hungry. It's been smelling so good. So I'll be back and give y'all my review too. There is no other way to make quesadillas. This is it. This is the best quesadilla I've ever had, hands down. There's no other way. Y'all have got to make it this way. And it is not super spicy, but you could definitely leave that jalapeno out.
Keep it.
Yeah, this is, even without the cilantro, we survived. We survived. This is delicious. It's my new favorite chicken quesadilla.
Yeah, we ain't going back.
We ain't going back.
Like Tyler said, this is the way forward.
He loves old Titus from Moss Family TV. Yeah, this is it. This is the deal here. That's what Titus would say.